Hey!
Hi! Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us through the break, and we're going to have a great time with part 2 of the...
Character creation.
Yeah, of the new Shadowcasters Network. Shattered Isles.
Yes.
100% original now. You guys are going to be helping us with our long-term persistent alpha test.
Alpha test forever.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alpha campaign. Let's put it that way.
Alpha campaign.
Yeah, alpha campaign. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I'm all about that.
We're all on this adventure together, and we're really excited to be sharing it with you guys. If anyone's new here, welcome. We appreciate you guys showing up and all of your support. We love you so much. Looking at you, Sarah. Just saying.
You guys are great.
And
fantastic.
yeah, so fantastic. And if you all want to make your characters, if you scroll a little bit upwards, I am going to actually re-put the link into there. I'm going to put it down here so you guys can see it. Boom.
Oh, it looks like they might need the traits.
That's true. We need
They're gonna
the
need
traits.
that, yeah.
We are going to need that. So I can share that, but it will be read-only. Does that sound fair?
You could, if you know how to do that.
I do know how to do that. So
you could share the original with read only, and then, they can everybody can see what I'm writing all the time, and they'll get notifications when I log in to start writing stuff.
That would be cool, and yeah, very awkward.
Hey, radio, I warn you ahead of time. I'm not going to try to wake you up, but man, that's just going to happen. Notifications. Just turn that notification off.
All right, where is it? Where the fuck is it?
Where's what?
Shh. Deal with it.
I'm dealing
Yeah,
with
but as she's doing that, as I was discussing, in traits there are speak language and read language.
Yes.
Thomas had both of these prior.
Yes.
He could read Elvish, read Dwarven, and he could speak Common, Draconic, Keshan, and Dwarven.
Yeah, so my language situation is not very good, and so let's just skip it for now.
Okay.
I would look at how much your intelligence bonus, and that is the number of languages that you can speak/read.
You mean my save?
No. Your intelligence value, I should say.
Oh, okay,
Should be the number of languages that you can read and speak. Of course, your native tongue, you should be able to read and speak.
Marseillan.
And there is no common, there's only Dwarven.
Right. Then what should I do for my fourth trait? Because since those are in traits and everything, the only other thing that I can think of is practiced skill. Mm-hmm. Ah, that was hard to say. Because that's the only.
Somebody went in and bolded.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
You're wonderful.
You bolded traits.
Yeah.
It's giant letters.
Good.
You know what? Yeah, just do a practiced skill, and we will address this as we move forward. Because I personally believe, as of right now, traits are 1-to-1 because I don't have a better valuation of it. But attending a private school should not be a cheap effect. It should not just be like in comparison to what Kodrog is doing going to a college, because the private college is worth a lot more. Money, of course, has to be figured out. There's a lot of details that got to be pinned away.
Well, that's fine. I get it.
Yeah. And the fun part is that this is going to be a work in progress, and we're going to figure it out, so that way by the time we're ready to publish it, it's going to be flawless.
That would be pretty awesome.
And everybody's going to have their name in the book.
You guys are going to be part of something.
Ooh,
I'm
watch
going to
out
be
now.
part of something?
Everyone.
I don't think... Am I helping? Am I?
You are.
Am I?
This counts.
You're part of this.
You're part of this.
Oh, shit.
Come to
Thank
terms
you.
with it.
I am. I just, that's like mind blowing to me that I would be a part of something
Lesser
this big.
and greater traits.
Yeah, like Acid said, that's I think the direction I'm going to be going in.
I'm gonna write that down.
But as of right now, it's just like, I'm just gonna put something down because I need stuff.
Yeah, that's why I think we're calling this the alpha beta, whatever we called it.
The alpha campaign.
The alpha campaign, because right now we're trying to get stuff down so we can at least play parts of the campaign.
Yeah.
So we can
keep
at
the
least
story
like
going.
so we can at least like attack people. I'm sure we'll make things up on the spot just to get it going and maybe keep things in mind.
Yeah.
That's why also we have you chat
Yeah.
for ideas and advice.
Yep, everything
course.
that like I'm getting over here from you guys, like I have a little document that I'm putting my notes into. So as we come into stumbling things and we're looking for answers, then the answers that we come up with, I'm gonna put them here so we can update our writing document.
And as far as it goes for communication, I can start making myself a bit
We
more
should-
available.
We can make
so that...
wait. Should we make it? Wait, sorry. I was like rolling through my head really, really fast.
Finish what you said so I can start talking.
Okay, we can either use a Slack or we could use our Discord channel because we have one. People could come there and hang out with us and help us with this whole shenaniganry when they have ideas. So yeah.
We have a Discord channel?
Yeah, it's right here. I'm not gonna switch to it.
Am I part of it?
Yeah. I hope
wow.
so.
Okay.
I think I've been a part of it for a while, and that's where I've been posting, like, are we going today? Like, so.
Oh yeah, no, we have one. This one.
We have one for this show, but
Anyway,
we have also one for...
I apologize. I didn't mean to derail.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, we're definitely good for that. We got to clean this space up. Someone's got to make sure to put away all her old dishes and get the dishes off the counter.
Who does that?
The dishwasher.
Well, every once in a while, you forget to put your dishes up.
Oh, I thought.
We got to get new furniture. See, Jeff says we got to get new carpet, new furniture.
Yeah.
Clean the room up some.
Oh well, I mean.
We're gonna have guests.
That'll be great. Oh man, we're gonna have guests.
I gotta clean my room, dude.
So many guests. This will be
Wait,
great.
we're gonna have guests?
Yeah, in the chat.
Virtual guests.
Oh, whew.
Yeah, we're inviting everyone over.
Everyone's invited
From
over,
all over.
to our chat.
Or to our chat.
But we're not paying for your flight tickets. You do that shit on your own.
And we're not giving you the address, so good luck.
Yeah.
There are
Right,
probably,
yeah.
I mean,
Don't
there
Google
probably
me.
are people who have ways.
Don't Google me, please. For the love of God, don't
It's
Google
not
me.
worth it.
Don't embarrass yourself by Googling me.
Google me. I don't know what happens if you Google me, but I the last time I did, I found a model who was gorgeous, and I felt very superior to her. So
Nice.
I felt like Paige Jones of me shouldn't feel like that. So
All right. So,
Excellent.
moving on from that failure. I think I
So
have.
should we take the original box sets
I can't right
Page?
now because we're
We're in a
in a
phone
call
call?
right now and it'll
and
fuck
it'll screw
everything
everything
up.
up?
Yes. So
Man.
it's gonna be later that
If only somebody else who is in that could put it up there.
could put an invite link up there. That would be so cool of you.
I don't know what's
That's
on my
okay.
character sheet. I
John
think
should
it's
know what I'm
weird.
talking about. Maybe.
I don't understand Discord very well
Okay,
still.
fine. I'll do it myself.
But
Go
I'll
over
look
my
at
computer.
I can look at it shortly as soon as I finish adding up all these cells in my spreadsheet so I know when I've reached 40 because I can't count on
I
my
have-
own. I need technology to do it.
I have yet to add any skills or anything into my thing. Okay, I have a question before I
Jeff
touch
took care
any
of
of
it.
Oh, Jeff.
Jeff's in there, but I'm not.
Good guy, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. Let me do the Jeff symbol.
There's a wait. I need to see this. Nice. The Illuminati.
Yep, we do the Illuminati on our
Yeah.
foreheads. That's the Jeff symbol.
Wow. You guys
Long
are
story.
dork.
Thanks, Jeff.
We are.
I have a question for skills.
Yes.
Do you want me to put zeros into ranks and total, or just the ranks?
Just into the ranks. Don't mess with the totals because those are actual
There's-
pre-programmed cells that calculate things up for you
There's math there.
already.
Sweet.
And otherwise, I have to retell you all the math.
No, that's fine.
What?
How are you? That's my kitty cat.
Something weird is happening.
Oh my god.
That was weird.
Palmer,
Oh,
thank
that's
you.
why.
Subscription.
For
Yay.
12 months.
Thanks.
Jesus, that's like a full year, Palmer.
Good
Yeah,
job,
Thank you very
Paul.
much,
We
sir.
appreciate that. Now I realize what I did forget. I always forget something, like when we start the stream, and
What'd
I
you
forgot to
forget?
switch over our Streamlabs. But whatever, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Right now it doesn't matter because we're not we're in flux right now, so it's fine. Thanks,
We're in,
Palmer.
like,
We really appreciate
flux
you
faster.
doing that
Definitely.
during our show. It's awesome.
All right. So let's spend some skill points.
Yes.
Okay, skill points. So who's gonna go first?
Jon says he's already done.
Oh, well.
No,
fine.
not
Oh.
done. I'm in progress. But yeah, let's. So I've assigned 30 of my 40 points so
Ooh,
far.
Okay.
Okay, I do want to point out, if it should say on there, that the first 5 ranks are a 1-for-1. The
Yeah.
second 5 ranks are a 3-for-1. Kapow.
Yeah.
what?
So I have not gone over 5 ranks for anything yet. So I haven't.
So
I
to
haven't spent too
translate,
many points.
if you get a 5, if you put 5 ranks in something, it costs 5 of your 40 points. That
Yeah.
6th point is going to cost you 8. It's going to cost you 3 for that number 6.
Why though?
Because that means you've already mastered quite a lot of the skill, and
Oh,
so
okay.
you have to make more effort to learn the details.
Alright, that's fine. That's fair.
I stole that from the Middle Earth role-playing system or Rollmaster.
Oh, hey.
Nice.
Roll master. Do do do.
Oh, right. So athletics is basically your go-to skill of doing things like climbing and running and swimming.
Okay. So yeah, I put a 2 in that just because I figure he's fairly good at doing physical things.
It's also a representative of your endurance skill. So, like, if somebody punches you and does fatigue damage, or you're thirsty and you have fatigue damage, you can make an endurance check to make it go away.
Okay. So with a total of 11 in athletics, that's fairly above average.
Considering that 3d6 generally rolls 10 and
Okay.
11, yeah, it's actually at average.
It's at average. Okay.
Right. So, like, endurance checks are increased for when, like if you're wearing a helmet, you won't have to make as many checks.
Okay. So maybe I'll put that as a 3, just so I'm a little bit more above that curve on there.
Okay.
Yeah, and Jeff makes a good point. It's a little bit phase rip from the old Marvel system where you had to increase your point.
Oh
by.
yeah, increments. He is right. Phase rippy.
Yeah.
Man, that was a good system.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite
It is.
randomly generated character superheroes.
So
oh my
random.
god.
We had a guy whose power, he was an NPC. I generated him. His power was to enhance movement. That was it. Like, so if he started running, he could run faster than the average person. If he started jumping, he could jump higher than the average person.
If he started
Every type-
dancing,
Every type of movement he could be in, he would enhance it. This included and went on to vehicles as well. So if he got into a car, he could make the car drive a little bit faster. Well, he could not interpret his power well enough, but he got his hands onto a squirrel costume, a flying squirrel costume, and it was not,
course.
and it was not it wasn't comfortable. It was hot all the time, and so he could jump out of something and make the squirrel costume actually glide short distances, but glide. His other power was creating rocks that would always end up being shaped like
acorns.
acorns. And his battle cry was, "These nuts!"
Oh my god.
As he would throw acorn-sized rocks at people. Yeah.
So you basically invented a very, very, very obscure version of Squirrel Girl.
He had no ability to speak with
Yeah.
animals. He had no fighting
fair.
prowess. He had a girlfriend,
He had-
not his wife, girlfriend, who would yell at him all the time.
He had no ability to like take down higher level super beings off camera.
But he had all the drive to fight every superpowered person that came around because he was tired of being, and this was the big catch for that. The world was filled with superheroes. There were A-lister superheroes,
Yeah.
B-lister superheroes, C-listing superheroes, and he was a D-lister.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, herbalism. I can learn herbal. I can.
All
I
right,
can.
so
Anyway, sorry. Earth 404 people.
that's a great system. That was fun.
Marvel Earth 404.
Earth 404. Because you know all the Earths have different numbers. This was Earth 404 for the Marvel Universe.
Anyway.
Yep.
So let's talk about these skills. Next one on the list is siege weapons. This is your ability to utilize cannons, ballistas, trebuchets, catapults. It does not work for battering rams nor building ramps or anything like that as far as it goes for sieging devices, sieging tactics. That's a different skill. So siege weapons specifically is for the devices that go boom, bang, or fling things.
Nice.
Okay.
All of these skills can be specialized. But for right now, game purposes, we're not worried about specialization. Yes, tater guns do fall into siege weaponry when you live where you live at, Jeff.
In Michigan, we have marshmallow guns.
Melee weapons. These involve one-handed edged, concussion, and piercing weapons, as well as the two-handed variety. All of those particular inflict damage for the purpose of combat. If, when you're in combat, and you target someone, and you equal or make less than your target number, I'll give you an example. We're going to use John's pre-athletics from earlier. Actually, John, does Kodrog have a melee weapon skill at this point in time?
Yes, he does.
What is it at?
The total's 14.
Holy crap. If you think about the way the dice works out, 10 and 11 is pretty much average. Kodrog, going against the other average melee combatant, he's going to win. Every time he goes, I'm going to stab him, he's really going to stab him. He's going to have to come across somebody like Captain Harris, who's a trained combatant, before he's like, I might not stab this guy the first time. Which is important because that represents, the game system is representing Kodrog as the way we've seen him. So John's character goes up to fight somebody. They have an evasion rating. If you remember from the higher up in the character sheet, that evasion rating reduces on John's fighting skill. The Tekiao peasant from earlier had a 2. So John's 14 would become a 12. John still has a really good chance to stab this guy. When John succeeds, he rolls the dice. So John, let's do a test roll and see how well you stab that Tekiao peasant.
Let's see. That is an 8.
8. He rolled equal to or less than the score needed. He also made 3 points less or greater. So every time you make less than 3. So like he needed a 12. If he had got a 9 or a 6, and so on and so forth, that increases the damage he does. Since he beat it by more than 3, he gets an extra dice of damage when he stabs that peasant. So his normal dagger damage, which is a d4, has just become 2d4. Plus, if the peasant wasn't paying attention, he can add in his precise in there, which would make it 3d4.
Ooh, I'm pretty sure that peasant wasn't paying attention.
And so John would do 3d4 points of damage to that peasant, and is probably going to die.
Yeah, does the peasant have more than 5 hit points?
Generally, they have about 8.
Oh, good, then he's just warned.
Just
Warned.
The same thing applies for every skill. If you beat the skill by 3, most of them have an effect that tacks in there. More damage, a special ability, something else. The spell lasts longer. The attack goes a greater distance and stuff like that. Ranged weapons, of course, pretty self-explanatory. Bows, crossbows, pistols, rifles, and slings. Once again, every time you beat it by 3, it increases the damage. Natural weapons, fists, feet, hooves, horns. Animals are going to have this one. If you're paying attention, for most of these combat skills, coordination is very important. Fighting sport revolves around wrestling and boxing. All right, so those ones I wanted to cover particularly because they involve Kodrog. because Kodrog is the melee combatant of the group. Acrobatics is going to be important for everyone because this is your dodge skill. All right, so and a dodge skill or acrobatics can be used like this. Kodrog's about to be stabbed. He goes, I'd like to spend some of my round dodging. He rolls his dodge. If he succeeds, he increases his evasion by 1. He beats his acrobatics roll by 3. He increases his evasion by 2. He makes it harder for the other guy to stab him by using acrobatics. And then the rest of the skills, if you're looking at the file, have a listing of what they're supposed to be. When you get down to knowledge and craft, they have an asterisk next to them. When you pick those skills, you have to be specific on which skill that is. What knowledge, what craft, what medicine. You don't get all of them, because that would be great. You learn medicine skill, and you can do forensics, surgery, first aid, treatment, herbalism. No. You have to pick ahead of time. So if you pick medicine, herbalism, that's all you got. You can kind of do those skills, but you're not really great at it. Just like if you've played Shadowrun or some other games, specialization allows you to do the other things, but just not as good. Tactics is really good. This stuff, let's see, getting into the social skills. Okay, animal handling, you can use that to ride an animal. It's not the skill meant for riding, controlling the animal. That is the ride skill at the bottom. This is the skill to teach them what to do and to deal with them as an animal, such as grooming, feeding, taking care of them. It also involves the necessary skill for being a veterinarian of them, going, yep, this one's teeth is bad, it's got to be put out the pasture. You know, bam, this horse is dead.
I got dark real fast.
Wow.
Awareness, of course, is the perception skill. I would definitely put at least 1 rank in it because I ask everybody for a perception check to make sure you know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, which one's the perception skill?
Awareness.
Oh, good.
Awareness, investigation. This is your ability to look around and be like, hey, that's a trap. I do believe they are not in the same order as what's on the character sheet. I apologize ahead of that. I try to split them up. And the rest of them are pretty much self-explanatory. Diplomacy, leadership, bluff, and intimidate are all the social skills needed to interact with the people out in front of you, either verbally or non-verbally. And then there at the very end, there's the ride. So we're going to slide on to the spellcasting ones.
Hold on.
Yeah. Because let's make sure that everybody's kind of on page 1, because that was a lot of information all at the same time.
What is like art and business?
Okay, art is the skill of being creative and creating something that would inspire.
Yeah.
As well as decorate.
Captain Harris is really great at that.
And captivate an audience. The purpose of art, like entertainment, is to captivate an audience. It also, having good art around can improve upon diplomacy. Having good entertainment around can improve upon diplomacy as well. Business. Okay, this is a very abstract skill. I liked it. I decided to put it in. And it revolves around... And I'm going to use the word corporate. But that's not a very good word for how it would be. It'd be more like guild.
Bartering?
Bartering should fall under... Where's bartering at? I know I had that.
Bartering or like appraisal or something?
Oh, bartering is like haggling.
Yeah, do you have... But I don't see that.
That's under diplomacy.
Oh.
And,
Where's diplomacy? Oh, there it is. Okay. I see it now.
I actually don't have an appraise. Look at that. I failed. All right, that's it. Scrap it all. We're starting over.
Well, I mean, business could be that, but at the same time, that business to me. It feels more like if that was your prior job, or if you.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would say like we could do a business skill, and that would include appraising.
Well, business right now is
Right?
a
Wouldn't
corporate, illicit, and small business.
Yes. See.
That's the
I
skill for
think-
running a business.
I
Okay.
think like
It
having
might be useless.
Mercantile.
I think having the
instead of
business-
Yeah, Acid's got some suggestions.
I think having the business skill I think in this campaign is needed because like there are many times where we have bought new fabric for sales or
Yeah, that's
you know
it's about to
stuff like that.
Yeah.
change it from business to mercantile, please, my wonderful, wonderful woman
course.
over here who is getting
Mercantilism.
control.
And we should
And change it from corporate to guild.
Okay, yeah, good call. That makes more sense. Guild. And then, are we gonna do, like
Appraise?
appraise? Yeah,
Does it fit there in running a business? I mean, maybe.
I think so.
I think so because appraise is like
Yeah.
you're
Alright, do it.
figuring out like all of the other stuff. Like I'm appraising how much it costs for me to make my soap,
Do it. Yeah. Okay. No, she's right. I got it.
and how much their things are valued and stuff like that.
Yep. Yep.
There could be a business trait, but I think it isn't actually a skill of putting up a business, making it work.
I agree that I think business related stuff. I think it should be skills. I don't think it should be traits.
And
Well,
there's also. Go ahead.
I don't know.
Sorry, there could be traits that give you bonuses to different business applications, like trader or.
Oh yeah, because okay, you're right. I got.
Yeah.
I remember
I agree
now.
with Acid here as far as it goes for the appraise. That's kind of why I'm because like John's character knew, Kodrog knew that cane that the dwarf had a blade in it because he was able to appraise
You're
it.
right. You're right. Okay. Yep. That's a very good point.
Acid.
Good point.
Acid.
Yeah, not
That's-
acid.
that's his name.
He's not tripping. Gosh, guys.
I'm sorry.
Acid.
As
I
I,
think-
I messed up
yeah.
too.
I know he's tripping. I know him. I know that man.
Well,
Don't throw him out like that.
I know you. You're tripping. Always. Question again, because I want to know herbalism because it sounds fucking awesome and I know what that is. You're welcome, Carl. And do I have to
Okay,
take
so-
medicine for that?
What?
herbalism falls under either survival or no.
Okay.
Go get survival. It's also under survival. Herbalism
actually-
falls under 2 skills.
So I would
Survival,
have to have
business
those 2 skills to have herbalism.
So I'm gonna put
No.
that in our notes. Sarah, Melisynth, I'm gonna go ahead. I've put that stuff in our notes so we can definitely take a look and see how that would, work.
Okay, no, I see what
So,
she's saying. That's a
yeah.
good way to look at it. Herbalism can come from 2 sources. This is one of those skills I was like, oh man, it fits in both of them. So I put it in both. Learning how to survive in the wilderness is survival skill, and that's where the herbalism fits in there. Knowing what plants to eat, what not to eat. And then medicine, it's more directed toward the healing side.
So I have medicine and survival points into there.
Mm-hmm.
Would that add on to my herbalism rank?
Yes. What I decided was that if you've got ranks in survival, that'll automatically add into the herbalism if you put it into medicine.
Okay. Well, I am out of points then. I have 2 left, and if I'm putting 2 more into herbalism, because my herbalism with my survival and medicine is at a 3. So if I add
What radio said.
what?
Survival.
Pretty much.
Oh man, I
Yeah.
gotta go. Do
I'm
not
out
go
of points,
into
and
the
I didn't
bushes.
even get to go to my magic.
You'll get
so-
some from your schooling. Go back to the trait, private
I
schooling.
I do. I just don't think that's gonna be enough unless I really narrow it down, which I can. But at the same time,
Make sure
I
that
feel
you-
like I'm gonna be very lacking in some areas of skills.
Can we take a quick step back and can you
Sure.
explain to me in particular what these numbers actually mean when you're choosing your skills? Like, I don't. I don't get it.
You're putting ranks into it. The numbers for the for example, if you put in all zeros, I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing. If you put in all zeros into your ranks, the numbers that are already totaled up are recorded by, say, your charisma and something else.
So put a 0 right there and hit enter. That's because of the attributes.
Yeah, the attributes. That's the word I was
So
looking
of the
for.
40 points, you're buying your rank. So if we want this peasant to suddenly have 5 ranks in siege weapon,
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
He's got
Peasant.
Okay,
That's
so
what
what does
he-
that number mean?
the total, that's what he has to roll equal to or less than to succeed in using that device.
Okay, now I get it. Everything's fine now.
Equal to or less. And every 3 less than the number that you're aiming for gets you a little bump up in some way, shape, or form.
So, where do you have your points at right now, Paige?
I can take those out, but I have 2 melee weapons only because he has a sword. I feel like he should know how to use it, and or if someone else is swinging it at him, I feel like he, know your enemy type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're not going to know it. I also have 2 points in survival, 2 points in navigation void. I would put more into knowledges, but it looks like we're not doing knowledges right now because I can't really. Because I would have like planes and void, and when we had monsters, and I would have put points into there, but I don't see anything like that, so I just didn't touch it.
The knowledges are listed into the on the
Okay.
skill thingy.
Oh, okay.
But continue.
Okay.
I have 1 point in versatile, 3 points in art, which again I don't need those, but I just kind of put them there.
Mm-hmm.
I put 5 into intimidate, bluff, and diplomacy. 1 into leadership, 2 into streetwise, 1 into medicine. I have 5 in herbalism, and 2 in animal handling, 5 in awareness, and 2 in writing.
What is Thomas using the herbalism for?
Well, I felt like when you're with a bunch of druids, they know nature. That is something that I feel like they would have taught him. Plus, he's been on the road for how long until he joined the ship, so I feel like he would have had to know some herbalism to get by in at least a medicine and survival.
Okay, I can
Okay,
agree with
that makes
that. I
sense.
don't agree with the ride because so far in game there's never been riding. But I mean, at least keep 1 rank into it. And by the way, I'm just going to kismet out there. Everybody knows how to get on a horse. This is a normal thing. Everybody knows how to ride a horse.
If the horse is trained, you don't really need
you're pretty
to know
good,
much.
but 2 ranks in ride means that you could spur that horse, start riding, pull out a weapon, and start swinging at people, and dodge through a crowd at the same time, kind of thing.
I mean, I'd like
That's
to
what
do
a ride. Okay, all right. While wearing a pointed hat.
Well, I mean, like I said, I would put more points. I'm gonna get rid of points in art. I'm gonna just leave 1 point in there.
Okay. Yeah, you put 1 point in, and that shows that you've made an effort to draw a picture once.
Yay!
And it looked similar to what you were trying to do.
Yay!
Oh my god! No!
Well,
wait.
it's only because it's because I feel like that would fall
Thanks,
under. I feel like that would fall under writing. Because he's read a lot of books, and I would imagine
Yeah.
he's written a fair of his own.
I'm totally cool with you taking the impression that that's writing, not just art. That you're really good at handwriting.
Yeah. But I would put more into knowledges. It's just I am. I don't know if I'm not like, because I don't know. I feel like if I have 5 in something, that means I'm really good at it, which is great. I'm gonna take some out of herbalism. I'm gonna take 1 point out of herbalism.
Yeah, and Sarah Melson had suggested earlier about the drop-down menus.
For the thing.
Since we're using...
That's good. Yeah, I think both of them. I'm gonna scroll back up and make sure I got her stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Because because she was talking about the races, and I think that's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know for knowledges, because I would put, now I have 4 points, I'd put my points into my knowledges, because I mean, Thomas is smart, he's read a lot of books.
There it is.
So at this point in time, you feel that the 40 points is just not enough to spread out and describe Thomas, even though you're going to be getting some more points from your private schooling for your magic. You feel like there's points missing for what you would want to have for Thomas.
I think there should be points separate for magic, because at this point I'm at 9 because I just took navigation void out of it, even though I think I should at least have 1 point in it because he knows the void. I would imagine I would put points into knowledges, or at least separate knowledge, at least separate points into knowledges or magic.
Okay.
Only because at this point I if I look at where the knowledges are on this skill sheet, wherever they may be. Where are they? Knowledge
Also,
is-
attending a private school, you get 20 points for your magic skill, and you get to increase 3 knowledges by 2 ranks.
Yeah.
You gain 6
Um,
spells.
So, okay, how about this? Let's see if we put together all of the rest of the points. And then once we've got all of those things down, we can revisit and check it out
Okay.
and see how it feels essentially
Sure.
once everything's on paper. Because it could be, it could be that just because we haven't gotten to that yet, it looks like it's not enough, but once we get there, it might actually be really great. So
Well, I just don't know, like, the for example, Thomas is the age of whatever number I made him, 28, I think, or something, maybe older than that, and has dealt with multiple different things on the ship currently, and in his life. For the amount of magic that he would know under his belt and how powerful I have been describing him and, like, hidden potential. By the way, I can't find knowledges on this sheet.
it's
I am failing
all the way
miserably.
over on it's on the third listing. It has knowledge, and then there's 3 things, 3 blank underlined spaces underneath it.
There is a way, since I'm
Oh wait, are you talking
Ping it.
about the sheet or the
the
or the
character sheet
document?
or the document.
I'm talking about the document, because on the character sheet there's lines underneath it, but, like, do I add my own knowledge?
Oh yeah.
I don't-
there's,
So in the big list here, you'll see it's under mercantile demolitions. There's an asterisk, and then it says knowledge.
Wait a minute. What?
Yes, Jeff, columns.
Wait, where?
It's on page 3,
3.
and it's pretty much right in the middle. There's a little asterisk, and
It's missing.
and it's knowledge.
it says knowledge.
It's missing mathematics, by the way.
Okay.
Oh, okay, I see it, because you're highlighting it. Okay. 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 Alright, okay.
Is that how you spell it? Yes.
Yes.
That's how you spell it.
Okay.
Knowledge maths.
Maths.
Okay, hold on. I need, like...
Also, yeah, Control F knowledge. Thanks. She's our tech. Melissa is our tech person. She knows everything.
We
Thank
need
you.
all
I
the
just-
tech help.
I don't know computers. So...
I don't know this control. I have no control over computers.
I don't.
Abelithian mathematics. Fuck.
You like that statement, Radio? Abelithian mathematics?
Abelithian mathematics.
I don't even understand what it means.
He'd have nature. Or he'd have nobility. I'm sorry.
John, how are
also-
you faring as far as your points are going?
So I have all of my points given, and I've added my points for my traits. Do you want me to go over how I've spent my point money?
Yes, please. If you
Okay.
don't mind.
Yeah. So I put.
I mind. No.
Too bad.
Oh,
Shots
man.
fired.
Okay.
Whoa.
So
Sass. That's sass.
yep. So I put 3 in athletics. To give me a 12. I've got a 4 in melee and 5 in ranged. So
What
my
did that
totals
give you
are
for those? Yeah, that's what I want to know.
13.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so yeah, you want me to just know the totals for all my skills then?
Oh, both actually. I'm
Okay.
a numbers fiend.
Fighting, I put 2 or 11. Same for acrobatics, 2 and 11.
Okay.
Stealth, I invested quite heavily in, and
Wow.
still only have a 9. Um,
Oh boy.
Stealth. I totally forgot stealth is a thing.
yeah, I put 3 points in stealth, and it raised me up to a 9.
Your wisdom and insight aren't the greatest.
Apparently, yeah.
I would suggest dark colored clothing then,
Yeah.
because all of this does not include like equipment bonuses.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, I'll make sure I dress for the environment. Oh, and I put 3 in subterfuge.
Oh, nice.
Subterfuge sounds fun. That only gives me 11 though, so I'm average at lying to people.
Really should be an
But
alphabetical.
at the same time, it's what is it? Huh?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You take your alphabet and shove it.
I mathed this.
This is just
It's
notes that I'm
arranged.
taking. It's okay.
It's arranged by the alphabetically by the dwarven word. So yeah,
Being a stumpy dwarf should give you a natural stealth bonus for being stumpy. Yes,
Oh,
I agree.
oh.
womp
Shots
womp.
fired.
Wow, radio.
That's actually like that should be a thing. I feel like Keshans should have like a bonus to their intimidation and stuff like that. I feel like that should be
Oh yeah.
that should be a thing. Oh, I like what's our medical doctor that I don't want to sound racist, but that
Cyrix.
insect guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he should have like a bonus in something too. Like I feel like humans should have a bonus in I don't know business. What do they do normally in the world of Shattered Isles?
Get in the way.
All right, fair. We are tall and legged and
God.
Buy
leggy.
stuff from us. I don't know.
That's another thing. I feel like dwarves should naturally have the mercantile or business trait. Since if they're known for whatever, they should have points in it or something.
Okay.
So you're talking
I
about racial skills.
Racial
Yeah,
skills?
racial skills. Yeah.
Bonuses to racial skills. Okay. Racial bonuses to skills. Okay, got it.
Even if you make a character that doesn't go into business, I feel like that should still be like your culture or
You're
your
forced
background.
to learn that if you're a dwarf. Let's
Yeah.
just put it that way.
You know what I mean? Like you may be born Chinese and may be born in USA, but you're still gonna want to know or have that culture of the Chinese.
Well,
culture or
especially if your
something like
family
that.
lives in that kind of way. It's like you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
like, yeah, it's like for example, you could be a dwarf that ended up wanting to be I don't know a sailor. And not a merchant or something and wanted to explore the world, but he grew up in the family that were all merchants and were like, well, you gotta learn this because it's the
Yeah.
family business.
Around the dinner table, it was always business all the time. So
Yeah.
that's all I
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah,
That's
so
so true.
Okay.
Okay. So, but I actually I agree. I think that would be a pretty cool thing to add. So I've got it on my notes, and we can figure out how that would work and what kind of things would we have. I think that a lot of game systems, kind of like, I'm not gonna say, no, I am gonna say half-ass humans because
They do.
They're like,
They do.
oh, humans are just versatile. They could do anything.
I've always hated
well,
that.
as a
Um,
person who plays humans in almost every single campaign she's ever been in, the reason I choose humans is because one, when I get like in Pathfinder or in any other or even Shadowrun,
Yeah, and
we get
D&D
we
and
get
everything.
one bonus point towards our attributes or something like that, and I'm okay with that, only because I like to think. I even do this in video games. I always choose to be a human because I think like I'd like to be special as a human that doesn't have, you know, elven ears or elven blood or heritage or, you know, the smarts of a dwarf or the strength of one or a strength of an orc. And at the same time, my human could cast magic and do all these extraordinary things, which in real life you normally can't do. I like having a human to make them special. That's kind of why I like having Thomas, because he's super and generic, but he can cast, you know, fireballs and shit.
This is very deep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, you know, and that's a fair point. And you know, like, and Palmer too. You know, the like game creators are human biased because humans.
That's true. Yeah.
So you know, maybe that would be something that.
So I'm going to broach this subject, which I did once before with my brother-in-law. I wanted to make humans in the Shattered Isles the orcs, And
Yeah, it
before
really
you-
does feel like that too.
Before you say, wait a minute, what are you talking about? If you look at the game mechanics from half-orc and orc systems, they immediately shovel off the strength bonus off to the orc half-orc societies and go, those guys got nothing going for them. They're strong, poor charisma. I wanted humans to be that. The reason why is because all the other races had intelligence and stuff like that. And that's where I wanted to go with them. I wanted everybody to be like, oh man, there's a human, he's really strong. Now, Gathlins are strong too, but they are big in size. That's where they're... But I wanted humans to be proportionally stronger than what would be the other races. I thought that would be the niche they could fill. I'll leave that bit out there, and we can have a... Keshans get toughness.
Oh, they do, yeah.
I think
I didn't want
that's-
them to be my half-orc.
You're right, fair enough.
Ouch. Okay. No. I think that's. I feel like every single developer should have, or think of a way to make their races a little special, other than adding something to their attributes. Only because, like, for example, in every video game ever, the first one that I can think of is Legend of Zelda, only because they do it beautifully. Take Zoras, for example, which if no one has played Legend of Zelda and you don't know what a Zora is, the fuck are you doing?
What's
Play
Zelda?
Legend of Zelda. So,
I've never.
Zoras are fish people. They can swim, they can catch fish, they know the ways of water. So, like, if you were playing a Zelda RPG, which Nintendo make that, because that would be so fucking amazing, you would have those knowledges of those skills, and I feel like you should have bonuses to those skills. Even if you have bonuses and attributes for those skills, I feel like you should have bonuses for those skills. It's the same thing with, like, Gorons. Gorons can't swim. If you put them in water, they sink. But if you put them in lava, they can swim through lava. They can actually, like, traverse through that and know how to deal with it. They actually know how to mine. They know rocks very well. I don't know what that would do in the world of Legend of Zelda other than blowing them up, but, you know, and eating them, but whatever. Like the Deku, they can't catch on fire. They can't. They can hop on water because they're super light. It's stuff like that. It's. I'm ranting at this point, but that's. I feel like that should be a thing.
It will be. It is a thing. It's been written down, and we will work toward it.
Sweet. I'm excited about that. If you couldn't tell.
So yeah, I think I like the idea of, you know, and this goes into a larger thing for me, is that common is considered to be English,
Dwarvish, right?
Let's go with generalized role playing games. Common
Oh, yeah.
is English, whatever, or whatever like the base language of the humans that are playing the game is.
Yeah.
And then there's Elvish, and then there's Dwarven, and then there's, like, you know, so there's racial languages, which, you know, it in itself is inherently not a bad thing. However, in the real world, you know, they're not done by race, they're done by nation. They're done by country. They're done by geographical location. And I feel in the Shattered Isles that that's actually something that's very important.
Yes.
And so that's actually the reason why our common is dwarvish, because dwarves are everywhere. Because dwarves are the traders, dwarves are the keepers of knowledge. Dwarves have a lot of things going for them, even though they don't have a nation to call their own. Because they are this nomadic people, and because of what they bring value to the rest of the Shattered Isles, it's been, over time, that's the language of trade. So that's the language that people would speak when they're speaking to people outside of their home country. But in their home country, they're not speaking common, in quotes. They're speaking their national language. So, and I don't know. Sorry, it's like, that's like a thing for me that it's
It is, and that's why if you go to our website and go to the
I can
link, can you
Link it,
Yes.
yeah.
link it up real quick?
shall.
You'll find that there is no common, and that there is actually several national languages, like there's cultural languages. I did that specifically after the last time we had that conversation because it had been written down, and I just wanted to make sure I got it out there and published. So
I
that,
feel like that should
Shout it out.
also be That should also be a free
Yep.
language.
Yeah.
I think reading and speaking Dwarvish should be a free language, and especially with your own language. Say Thomas is Marseillan. So he would know how to read and speak and write Marseillan, and I feel like since the common language is Dwarvish, people should know that. Unless you are completely out of touch, but I don't feel like that's going to be fun for a player in the game where everything's Dwarvish.
I think being able to speak Dwarvish is a yes. Being able to read Dwarvish is a no. The player should make an effort to pick that one up. But
That's
I agree.
fair.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. The language is everywhere. Dwarves have actually, if you read through it, dwarves have gone back to speaking dead Dwarvish languages so that they have a private tongue.
Yeah.
They're like, God damn it, everybody! Never mind, this works.
It's not my fault, all right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think this is a good idea. I like it a lot.
So, where were we? John was talking about
Sorry.
his character.
Oh
So
yeah,
totally
no.
just like
Sorry.
derailed.
I ranted and then
Man, yeah,
derailed.
Man,
think it was-
go back to the Codrug show. So
Welcome. I
I'll
watched
see.
that. That sounds amazing.
right. So yeah, subterfuge. I put some points in there. The next one I did was small craft. I went ahead and dumped 5 points in there,
Nice.
so I can get 13.
Ooh, yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Hot damn, you can craft some shit.
Yeah, well that's how I can snag all that sweet whale goo. So
Small craft
delicious.
means piloting. Not
Yeah.
not making things, but piloting.
oh yeah. Oh, small craft.
That's what I was like, what are you crafting? That's so small.
No, that would be craft small, not small craft.
Tiny crafting. Tiny bits of clockwork.
Oh my
Yeah, it's like
I make
people who make
miniatures.
those dollhouse. Yeah.
I take
Um,
tin soldiers and I paint them.
So the Amber Falls, does that still fall under the small craft category? No? Okay.
That's a large
Yeah.
craft.
Amber's Falls is huge, man.
It is the small end of the large crafts.
Okay. And then I put a couple points into void navigation.
Nice.
I've got 11. I didn't put any in island navigation. Oh well.
I wouldn't worry about that. You need void navigation. Isle navigation specifically is being able to be like, when we came in, the sun was over that way, the moon's on this mountain, and I know which way is north, kind of situation. You guys are mostly in the void. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, right. I invested 3 in bluff to give me a total of 7.
Nice.
Thank you, charisma and presence, for being my dumb
You're not a
stats.
bluffer. You're not a bluffer.
Do you want to know my bluffing thing? It's a 15.
Oh my god.
Nice.
And then I dropped a couple points into knowledge void and knowledge math. A couple into craft carpentry.
Oh, there you go. There's your crafting.
Yeah, and then 4 in awareness to give me a 12.
I have 7 points left to put into knowledges.
I just thought of something we should write down. All
Okay.
dwarves should have craft beverage.
Oh.
They should all suffer and know how to make beer.
Yes.
That's not stereotyping any. And honestly, that's...
Well, you know what? Would make sense, and each Iron Home would have their own drinking beer.
Man, I
brew.
said that
Yeah.
totally wrong. They should all have the bonuses in craft beer.
Yeah. Craft
I
beer. Bunch of
apologize.
hipsters.
I apologize. I'm a father. Puns come naturally.
That's fair.
No, I mean I wrote it down, so.
Because the skill's called craft beer. Unless you come to Florida, then they're everywhere. And they're filled with hops.
Motherfuckers.
What? That's
if you
'cause
come to
everybody loves
Michigan, we are known for our beer. So
Are they filled with hops?
I don't know. I don't drink a lot of beer. As
Hops
I
are
say, as
nasty.
I'm drinking a beer.
I mean, IPAs are in right now, so
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we're known for
IPAs are gross.
our craft beers and our homemade beers and all that shit.
Yeah, I like beer, but I'm not a very huge hoppy fan. I've actually
fair.
found a type of beer called Gruits, Gruits. It's beers not made with hops. They're brewed seasonally. And went to Total Wine, found some, and they were pretty gosh darn amazing. some pretty crazy flavors out there that didn't taste like horse's ass. So there it is.
fair.
I'm plugging all you craft brewers out there. Stop making horse piss. Thank you.
I mean, they'd probably say otherwise. They'd probably say otherwise.
Okay, all right.
If you'll
So,
excuse me, I have to split my knowledge points into
all right,
all the knowledge I want.
dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly, no!
Do I need mathematics?
No, only if you're going to navigate and travel the void by like running the freaking ship.
Or if you want to
You-
know how to do complex equations for funsies.
Yeah.
I feel like that would just be like in every college ever. That's like a
Put
course
one
you have
rank
to
into
take.
it. Put one rank into it. That way the bosun knows you know how to count.
I mean, you could do that, but just remember, you didn't go to a university like that. You went to a specialized school for
Yeah,
mages. So,
for yeah.
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 That's fine. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna put a point in all one of them right now. Because I'm smart and that shit goes up by fucking forever. Knowledges are wisdom, and so that's a 10. So I have 2 points left to put into my knowledges because that's where I want to put them. And I've chosen shit. I've chosen. I just realized I need to put nobility down in one of them.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
you don't. You don't need knowledge.
I
nobility.
don't. I feel
No.
like I.
I mean, unless
Okay.
you really want to be studied up on that
So,
stuff.
yeah, knowledge nobility is kind of one of those things where, like, even if you're born into a noble family, if your purpose is not to be part of the nobility, if your purpose is to be, like, a mage, for example,
Yeah.
you wouldn't necessarily need to know the ins and outs and niceties of nobility. Having like maybe 1 point in it, I think, would be sufficient
Yeah.
at most.
I put one. I put 1 point into it. I would put more only because I would imagine Thomas's father shoving that into his face and
He mu-
having him to know it.
The only reason I would see that would happen is because he's pushing you to, like, with the idea about becoming a court mage. So it's possible
Yeah.
if you but at the same time, we can still use that thematically, because in a lot of times you may not even be coming up with that, and that's one of the things that we have
Yeah.
to think about. Like, if you're not going to be running into that situation on a semi-regular basis, then it's a waste of a point.
Don't waste the point.
That's fair. I'll leave it at 1 point. I put my last point into void because that's what he wanted to study. But I have a point in Arcana Planes, 2 points in void, 1 point in monsters, 1 point in mathematics and nobility. And I have no crafting skill. No crafts.
All right.
No craft.
You get, because of your schooling, you get 20 points for your magical skills.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on what you would want?
What are you ordering from?
I just went to Bontron because they keep buying it and not asking us if we want to order anything.
Don't blame other people for your desires.
Wow, I'll have to tell Sarah that you're mad at her and me.
But we don't have to go there if you have a craving.
I don't have a craving. Get whatever you want. We'll go get it or have it delivered. All right, so answer radio 3.
Yes.
And Paige gets 20 points for her spells. You, at this point in time, like, if you don't want anything in necromancy, don't put anything into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
If you only want 1 point in necromancy because you one time read that one book in the library that nobody's supposed to read, go for it.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Can she still attempt to use can Thomas use those magics even though he doesn't have a point in them?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure after he's valued all his points up and stuff, he might have like a sizable positive number in there.
Okay.
I mean, this peasant setup has a 2. And they have a bunch of negatives.
Yeah.
I technically have 21 because of trained magical arts because it gives me 1 extra point to skills
I'm
or
gonna write this
spells.
out here.
Um,
I want chicken. That's what I know that I want. That's kind of why I went there.
3 notch skills. Okay. Okay, so here's the thing. Thomas was trained in evocation.
Check.
So I think I'm gonna put that at a solid maybe 10 or
That's going to cost a lot of points.
Yeah, because
And
remember.
that might be
Yeah.
more points than you have.
Yeah, I would.
then I'm gonna put in a 5 because your bullshit rules.
That's right.
-5. Alright. I have 16 left. I'm gonna put 5 into transmutation.
Awesome.
Okay.
So,
So
have
let's
11.
before you put any more, what kinds of
Yes.
spells has Thomas been casting?
Conjuration, transmutation, evocation. You haven't
That's
cost
about
any
it.
alteration.
Nope. I've been
got-
very careful with my spell lists.
You haven't done any divination because you
No.
haven't done any detects. And remember,
No.
detect magic is divination, but you don't cast the spell. It's just you roll to detect it. So you might want
I
to
should have.
point.
I'm
you
gonna
might-
put. I'm just gonna bring it up to a solid 0. What was
You
that?
haven't-
Divination.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just spend 2 points to bring it up to a 0.
So how many points does Kodrog get for his magic? Kidding.
And I actually have to minus. Hold on. I just have to. I have to minus 4.
I
So I have
apologize. I apologize. There is a mistake here.
Okay. Tell me. What did I do?
That was the other thing. Okay, so we need to modify trained in magic. Trained in magic is supposed to take all those -2s off. So
Oh, sweet.
once you train in magic, all of these should become 0s.
Good call.
I knew there was something
Okay.
wrong. I apologize, and Cassie will edit the file here real quick.
I figured. I just didn't want to like do
I
it
don't
by
have a-
myself.
Go to skills, the skills folder, up, the next tab over. Scroll down to traits, keep going. Trained in, okay, stop, back up. Trained in magic arts. All right, hero has a magic of 0, comma, hero gains 1 rank in a magical skill. Actually, all magical skills go to rank 0. That needs to be added in there.
I'm going to put in. Fuck it, 5 for conjuration. So I have 4 points left.
There, that's what it's supposed to be.
Hero gains a rank in 1 magical skill
Yep.
and 1 spell.
That's
so those
it.
are free ones.
Those are freebies.
Before anything else happens.
Before anything else.
Okay.
I'm gonna add. Actually, necromancy sounds awesome, so I'm gonna add 2 points into necromancy, and then
That's awesome.
I'll have 2 left, and I like illusion the best, so I'll put 2 into illusion.
Okay.
Now illusion
have-
is invisibility and stuff too,
Yeah.
right? So yeah,
I've
that would
used
that
that.
would be
I
important.
have
You
u-
have
yeah.
you
Oh, no,
have, you
I
have
do
used
so.
that.
Turned
And then I have-
invisible.
3 knowledges by 2. So void, because he actually learned that shit. So 4 monsters, because why not? And planes. Sweet. Then I'm done with all my skills.
Oh, man.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a moment to write all my traits. So
Yes, please. And I
Move
would
on.
just like to point out so that you know your character should be starting at this point with a total of 7 spells.
7 spells. Where'd my
Yeah.
pen go?
What
Pen?
color?
Black. I found it.
Okay,
I just-
so
I'm learning how to use this app.
Paige is organizing the last of her character. John has finished his for the most part.
10 or 20.
What
I
are
think so.
those?
They're chicken strips.
Chicken strips, hell yeah.
Chicken strips.
Chicken strips.
10.
10 is good.
Okay.
Do we want to finish working on the captain considering the time?
You know what? Yes.
Okay.
because I mean, I think getting characters down and having an understanding of how the characters are made in this session, I think, is important. We're going to be spending the next couple weeks kind of reevaluating what was, like I said, remember everyone, this was written out in less than 2 days.
Yeah.
So, so this is very, very rough, and it's going to be improved over time to be whatever the final product ends up being. So yeah, I would like to do that.
All right. John, what did your evasion end up being like?
My evasion ended up being a 2.5.
Nice.
Oh, hello, Paladin. Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for subscribing. That's awesome.
Yes, definitely.
I hope you're enjoying it so far. We are testing out a brand new system for us that we wrote in the last 48 hours. So, and we're going through character generation process. Thank you so much.
But yeah, so 2.5, is that good? Because the peasant had 2.
Yeah, 2.5 is fine.
Okay.
As far as it goes for the setup, I think 2.5 is good. Because that means everybody suffers a 2 penalty to try to attack you. And then, of course, you can do stuff like go defensive in your fighting, make an acrobatics check, stuff like that, to improve upon how much your evasion is.
Okay.
If you wanted more, then you would want to put more into your coordination and instincts.
Yeah.
Okay. So, let's see. If you're good, we'll move on to the most important NPC.
Yes, I'm ready to move on to the most important NPC.
The one that that seems to be played the most at the moment. So.
Yes. Well, we're creating him as a character, not an NPC, because NPCs have different stats.
That's true. That is true. So, let's see. Ranged weapons, I think.
Yeah, he's got a pistol.
He's got a pistol, so let's start off with...
Up is the answer radio.
3?
3 sounds good. He's probably learned how to box, not to actually brawl, so he probably doesn't have anything in natural weapons.
No, I wouldn't
But maybe
say
at
so.
least one rank in fighting sport.
Oh, okay.
But nothing in natural weapons.
Yeah. It's, it's
which
funny,
is right there.
but he's already got like this already.
There's 4,
which is
because there's
crazy.
4 ranks written
Yeah.
right there, because that's from the NPC. The Takeyao peasant. That was there beforehand.
Oh, you wrote it there beforehand?
From the Takeyao peasant, yeah, he had I
Oh,
put 4 there.
okay. Well, we need to remove that.
Same
Thank
with
you.
the athletics, I put a 5 there.
Need to remove that. Okay. Now I know why they were there. I gotcha. So... Athletics?
Maybe 2 or 3.
Let's do 2 for right now. And, let's see. Medicine, I don't know. No. Diplomacy, probably.
Heck
I
yeah.
would say.
Yeah.
Like 5 at least. So let's
Oh my
start with
goodness.
that.
There's also leadership above it.
Oh, yeah, that one too. He's...
And bluff.
Ooh,
At least 3 in it.
You think so?
Yes.
Is he a bluffy kind of guy? Maybe he is. We'll put it there. Where's art? There it is. This one's like crazy high. It actually should be higher than that, but
That's all we've got to
we're
work
gonna
for.
we're gonna stay there first, and then if there's anything left over, we're just gonna pump them into the. Oh, cool! What? That's an equation?
Yeah, that's a...
Oh, you're so smart. I'm taking this right now.
Yeah, steal it. Alright, yeah. Unintentional
Phrasing.
rhyming.
Oopsie.
Oh,
Oh
equation.
man. Okay. Oh, and this
Yeah,
one
I
is
spend a lot of time in Excel, so I know a few things.
tactics.
Yes.
What do you think? 3?
3.
Technical. What is technical?
Picking locks, opening doors, dealing with devices, sabotage,
Probably
repair,
not. Probably not.
ride, awareness. Oh, yeah.
Awareness. Let's see. Probably 3. Ride. Probably. what, 1?
Sure. 5, 6, 16,
Let's check out.
24, 27, 34.
Okay, so let's check out our knowledge skills. Be so much easier if they were in alphabetical order.
Someone's a little pissed off at that.
I don't
I've
even know
told you
where they
lately
are.
that I love you.
Where are they?
I also forgot to add practice
3.
skill, by the
You're
way.
right, page 3. Thank you.
So I'm gonna do that real quick while you guys are making
Okay.
who I think you're making.
Our
We're totally making him.
Oh yeah. All right, so let's see. Let's
We
make sure that
gotta.
you guys are seeing this too. I'll just scroll up a little bit. There we
Oh,
go.
I also have another question, but I'll leave that
Sure.
for later.
Go ahead.
Because I was reading my traits again as I was adding them. And it says that I gain like points in spells, and I have yet to look at or write down spells or anything like that. Does that go to the spell itself, or does that go into my mana?
Where do you see this at?
For example, trained in magic arts or attend a private school. A trained in magic arts says you gain 1 rank in magic skill and 1 spell, and you also gain, if you attended a private school, you gain 6 in spells.
Yeah, you gain 6 spells, so that's what I meant when you have a total of 7 spells.
Oh, okay.
Your book will have 7 spells, and as far as the game goes, we haven't actually said, "Oh yeah, you've stopped and picked up more spells." So we're just assuming you've got 7.
That's fine.
Okay. Back to this.
78. Whoops.
Whoa!
Wow, that's a lot. You're awesome. Okay.
You know, a lot of spells apparently.
So let's see. Nobility. Yeah, he would definitely be trained in nobility stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, if there's anything else in here that would be worthwhile as the captain of a ship. Mathematics? Probably not.
No. I'm pretty sure he knows how to do math. It's just he doesn't need to do like,
Complex
harder-
figures.
Yeah, he's not got to calculate a course.
Mm-hmm. He's got people for that. I don't really necessarily think that there's any other knowledges that he would have to have, honestly.
No, I don't think so either. I mean,
Knowledge captaining?
knowledge art.
Oh yeah, knowledge art too. Even though that's not there, I think we'll put it on there anyway because
Okay.
it's special. All right, what are we doing here? It
Art?
was art. Oops.
He got leadership, right?
Yes, he's got a 15 in it.
Art.
Jesus.
Or sorry, 5 ranks, total of a 15.
And so here I'm gonna actually do an asterisk there. Art. And we're gonna do.
Hang
Man, I blanked out.
on. Nobility.
Nobility. Thank you. Oh, that was gonna do that.
I'm stuck.
And we had how many points left? 6?
6.
3 and 3.
Sure.
All right, there we go.
Guys, I'm stuck.
What are you stuck
up?
on?
I need help.
Okay, what's up?
So since I have taken practice skill, I select 1 skill and add my wisdom.
Uh-huh.
And my wisdom is in total 6. So I'm guessing I'm adding that?
No, your value. You add your value, not your
My
save.
value? Great, that's even better. It's a 1. I have no idea what skill I should take. If it's a 1, I think that'll just be easy, because then I could just be like, fuck it, I'll put it into bluff or some shit. But, because this is a skill that he's
Practiced a lot in that you've
practiced
done
a lot.
Maybe your herbalism.
I think I'm gonna. Ooh.
I mean,
Yeah. Fuck yeah! I'm gonna add it to herbalism.
Okay,
Then.
cool.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. The last bit, as far as it goes for equipment, I put weapons and armor at the bottom of the page, along with a couple of spells. That's what I've got going at this point in time. It gives you an idea how the weapons look out. So I'm going to talk real quick about a stat that seems to be appearing as far as it goes for spells and for weapons. It's called speed. In a round, you can take an action to do something, like attack or like move and stuff like that. If you look at daggers, it says the damage is a d4, then it says the type is piercing. This is all the way at the bottom of the page. So if you go all the way down to the very, very bottom of the skill
looking at the Word
thing.
doc?
Yeah, the Word document.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go all the way to the bottom, you'll see it says daggered, a d4, then it says the letter P, and then it says a 0.5. So stabbing with your daggered only takes half of your attack action, or half of your round to stab, to make a successful stab with that dagger. So in a round, you can stab twice with a dagger, or swing, as you notice it does slashing damage as well. Swing twice with that dagger, or you can stab and then swing, or whatever combination. So technically, with a dagger, because they're light and fast, you can move twice. You also notice spear is a half speed. If you look at some of the spells, it will say, like under the sulfur volley, its cast is a 0.5 or half. So you could cast 2 of those sulfur volleys at the same time, just from one hand. That'd be, or if you're, for whatever reason, decide you're going to dual-wield sulfur volley spells and just like, throw as many as possible. You can do that too. You have 2 hands. If the description only describes the use of one hand, guess what? You can put the spell in the other hand. Same thing that goes with daggers. If you hold in 2 daggers, you can start stabbing like a fiend, stab about 4 times in a round.
Wow.
That sounds fine.
Yeah. Shanks down.
You'll notice it says a strength value. That's the required strength to actually work the weapon. If you don't have the strength, you suffer penalties. So if you don't have a strength score of 2 or higher, don't pick up a bastard sword and start swinging around. You need to be buff. You need to be real buff to use that thing effectively.
Oh, shit. Even if I wanted to use my longsword, I can't.
No, you can't. A longsword has an actual strength of 1. Now, you can wield a weapon with 2 hands. Like, if you hold your whole longsword with 2 hands, you can use it. Your strength is now considered 1 point higher for the purpose of doing stuff.
I still wouldn't be able to use it. I'd just be at a solid 0.
I
I have... That's the thing. Thomas has the sword for decoration to put on the masquerade that he's not a mage.
Yeah.
He has used it in the past in my own headcanon, but I mean, hot damn. My boy's weak.
So, and the last thing, I want to bring you to the attention of a crossbow. There's only 1. I haven't had much more. And you'll notice that the speed of a crossbow is 3. Because that includes reload.
That's fair.
So,
Yep.
Scrolling back up to armor. Armor's pretty much self-explanatory. Hardness. Armor just stops damage. You need to get out of the way if you don't want to be hit.
Yeah.
Shields can be used to block. To block something, it's a half speed. So if you have a shield, readied, half speed, bam, I blocked. Now I'm going to stabby stab. Yes, pistols will come because the captain carries 1, Arthur carries 3. Pistols will
Of
come.
course. I know the reason why. I love it when people are like, I have 7 pistols, and I'm like, why? But I know the reason. I know the reason.
They're all one shot.
Yep.
Bam,
We all
bam,
take gunpowder.
Hang on a minute. Bam. I got to get to this one.
Yep. This one's in my boot.
So,
Yep.
speed is an attribute you guys might not be familiar to, but it's there. It exists. I'm going to scroll back up to the spell called Sulfur Volley.
Yes.
I'm going to use that as my description and my discussion. If you notice under Sulfur Volley, it says it's 0th. That's the level of the spell. That's also the amount of mana it costs you to cast it.
Oh, okay.
And that's on
there it is.
page.
I found it. It took me fucking forever to find it.
That's on page. That costs you nothing. Conjuration is, of course, what you roll. As you notice, it says range 5 meters. I'm using meters because, well, we should all go to the metric system.
Yeah, that's right.
No.
Meters.
Great, thank you for not,
We're doing it.
respecting my own opinions and options of the way I think, because meters fucking explodes my brain.
Triple that number, and that's how many feet it is.
Oh, okay, I'm good with that then. Should just fucking use feet.
No.
No, we're not
No.
doing
Continue.
it. We're not
Continue
doing
your
it.
So-
discussion on sulfur volley.
You have conjuration written down on your character, right?
I do.
What's the number?
5. In total, it's 17.
Whoa, Jesus! 17!
Yeah.
Oh my god. Somebody within 5 meters of you, you're going to hit him, you'll be like, I'm calling shot for the face.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
Yeah, his transmutation and evocations are 17 as well. If I'm
Nice.
casting enchantment or any or alteration that are a 0, that's 12.
All right. So every time someone is a range, so that's a range increment of 5 meters. Every time someone is that distance away, past the first one, it incurs a penalty. So if somebody was 20 meters away from you, that would be a -6. So you would have an 11 or less to hit them, which is still pretty average. That's a high percentage chance of hitting them, and they're 60 feet away, and you're throwing this little blast of fiery goodness. If you notice it says a D3, all 0th level spells will do a D3. If the spell's specific to doing damage, it will do 2D3 or a D6. But we're gonna say 2D3 just because.
I have a problem with D3s. I don't have any dice. Or D3s.
D6 divided by 2.
On a D6, a 1, 2, and a 1,
and
2
2
is
is
a
1,
1.
yeah.
A 3 and 4 is a 2, and a 5
That's
and
too
6 is a
confusing.
6. I know. You could always go by a D3. All right.
Yeah, okay. Tell the starving artist to go buy a dice pack. Yeah.
Fine.
You know
Original
what?
box set
You know
will
what?
take care
Then
of
we
you.
will send it to you.
That would be
Alright.
amazing.
It has a burn damage, so that whatever you hit automatically gets caught on fire. There's no save versus this. They're on fire now. The purpose of Sulfur Volley is to create light and set things on fire. The damage is an extra. As you notice, it says evasion. That means if somebody has an evasion attribute, they have the ability to jump out of the way when you start throwing these little blasts of fire. You notice it requires verbal, somatic, and material. Half cast means that you can do that twice in a round. And the duration is 0, which means once it hits a target, it's done.
I'm glad you put in that I have to speak this.
Yeah.
A lot of the spells that I read are like, you just do it. And I'm like, is it required for me to speak? And then it takes 20 minutes for me to find it.
In the description, of course, a bit of sulfur. It gives a nice description. And if you read through, it says the blast comes with a terrible odor. It can set burnable objects on fire. The attack can be held as long as desired. So the moment you pinch that sulfur and whip your arm back getting ready, you have a ball of fire in your hands ready to hurtle. You can hold it as long as you want. You can bring it down, walk around. It's like a freaking torch that stinks.
Sweet.
It burns forever. Period. So this is your continual flame spell as long as you keep that piece of sulfur pinched. And the moment you snap your fingers and flick, it turns into a ball of fire that shoots across the way to your target.
Cool.
For every 3 that you get under your target number, you do an additional dice of damage. So if you've got a 17, the person's 5 meters away, and you're like, I just rolled a 3. That translates into getting 5 under 14, 11, 8, 5. Yeah, that's 4 under your target plus critted. That's like 6d6 fiery death damage to that person. Like if you
Wow.
rolled ridiculously well because you're so skilled at that magical skill. So skilled. And then of course,
How long?
Go ahead.
How long can I hold it? For example, if
Infinite.
I'm concentrating on one spell, could I cast another?
Nothing, as long as that other spell doesn't require both hands, because now this
Okay.
hand is occupied.
That's fair.
You can hold this as long as until your wrist gets numb.
That's fair.
All right, and of course your favorite, Rang and Frogs. It exists. It's
Yes.
transmutation. And every 3 under this target number that you get increases the area in which gets consumed or filled with frogs. And there are also other versions of this spell where you can So like I went into details because I like the way you described it. Like it requires rain. If there's not actually rain, you can shake like water or spit water out, and that basically will make it rain into your target area. And then of course you're pretty much spitting out the frogs, but you know
I was
whatever.
gonna say that's attractive.
And there are some other several variants, such as cats,
Cats,
dogs,
Sorry, I just imagine fucking.
worms, and roaches.
Don't talk to Thomas. He fucking threw up a cat the other day.
It's raining cats and dogs.
It's raining cats.
It's raining
and
cats
dogs.
and dogs.
Or worms and roaches. Oh gosh.
Or worms and roaches. Whatever I'm in the mood for that day.
So those are just examples
Of spells.
of spells.
And
There are, so it's like altered versions, and like if you have things that like in your head that you're like, oh, this would be the coolest thing, then once we get to it, then that's when we would work to it.
Would love to work with you on magic, because I have played with magic both times I've played in this type of setting. So, if you need magical advice, please, I would love to be a part of that.
I intend to reach out to you. And so you'll see that there's also Zephyr and then Lightning Bolt. And so these are to give you ideas, as well as, of course, now that we have other people who are joining in on the discussion, you can take a moment and look and see, be like, oh, hey. Unfortunately, the spell only summons living things, and unless gold coins live in the world...
I mean, they technically do.
So this is give some guidance, and if you guys out there want to be like, hey, I got an idea for a spell. Okay, well, we're going to hook you up with... we've hooked you up with the original box sets, channel the chat in, and come on over and start the conversation.
I do have a question for the Rain of Frogs. Is there a limit? Because obviously there has to be a limit for size, because cats and dogs can be up to Great Dane standards type of thing. I mean, we look at Bobo Fluffykins. He was giant. And if I could cast anything, I would fucking cast dragons, because
Reign of Dragons.
Reign of Dragons.
I would imagine it would be limited to anything smaller than a tiny or smaller. So like small cats, small dogs, like chihuahuas.
Okay, that's fair. And
Man,
if
that's going to be the most angry rain cloud ever.
now, if is there going to be like a greater Rain of Frogs?
I don't know. Work on it. I don't know, but we have not started working on it, and that gives you an opportunity to say,
Maybe that could be.
I mean, I think it would be insane to have Reign of Dragons, but at the same time, I think it would be hilarious. I don't think I would add it into a campaign, though, only because dragons are way too overpowered.
Yeah, I think that spell would turn out being REIGN of dragons.
because then they move in, they would be charging you rent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
But that
would
would
be
be
making
cool.
a rain of gold coins.
I think just having a limit size of so much would be good, because then you can even bring it down to like, if you wanted to be that person and have Reign of Scorpions,
Ooh!
then you can. But you know,
Okay.
Summon like a 3d10 cubic meters of whatever tiny size or smaller animal.
oh, I hate scorpions. I just imagine Thomas being like, bleh, like
Oh,
a
man.
scorpion.
That's funny, because when we were thinking up stuff, true story, Max only originally had cats, dogs, and worms, and he was like, hey, babe, like, can you imagine rain of worms coming down on you? It's so gross. I was like, yeah, that's really gross. And then I'm like about to walk out of the room, and I'm like, oh my god, babe, if there's a rain of roaches, that would be the literal worst. Like, oh my god, so terrifying, and
Yeah. I think that if we would add like a small list of like etc., you can literally think of like something that's as big as this and weighs this, then you can cast it. I think that would be like a good rule for that, because Yeah, casting anything like that. Plus, like, you can really fucking make a mage or even a witch doctor around that and say, like, oh, I'm gonna cast Rain of Frogs and, like, end up just describing it as you're spitting up these creatures.
Yeah.
Which you could.
Or Reign of Koala Bears.
Koala bears. Koala bears.
Drop bears are just terrifying. Ask any Australian.
Mm-hmm.
Right, radio? Drop bears are terrifying.
Drop bears are terrifying. I hear that they have terrifying diseases, along with giant claws and scary
They're
hissing
vampires.
sounds.
Yeah. Drop down and give you the clap.
I'll stay with the videos I see of koalas because they're fucking adorable.
They could rip a man's arm off.
I know they can.
Or blow up a man's house.
It's pretty much like kangaroos. Kangaroos are fun to look
Regular.
at, but they can beat you silly.
Yeah. Like,
Drop bears will fall onto a kangaroo
You
and
know
snap
what's-
their neck
you
and
know-
drag the meat back up to dry.
That's true. You know what's the best thing? Sorry, random thought. With like every single animal in Australia is either like trying to kill you or can kill you, except for their possums. Because their possums are like the most adorable thing, and then you come over to America and you see the opossums, and you're like, "What the fuck is that monster?"
Yep.
Their
I
possums
remember-
is the only adorable animal, but ours is just like, what is wrong?
I remember, because I used to walk to school when I was in high school, and I found a possum, and I thought it was a cat, and of course, naturally, I'm like, oh, kitty, and because it was like the back turned to me, and then it like, it like looked at me, and it was like, and I was like, you're not a cat. And I just started walking away, and like looked back, and he was just like, the entire time. Oh, it was terrifying. It was amazing, but terrifying.
I can only imagine. On the flip side of that, when I was a young, I think I was like 7 or 8, we found an
lad.
injured possum outside our house.
Oh.
She was a baby. We decided we're going to try to nurse her, take her in, find somebody to take care of her. 6 years later, she's fat and huge. My parents are so tired of this thing. I loved
Aw.
Mabel. She was awesome. I'd be asleep. She'd crawl up on top of me. She never
Yeah.
had death breath. You know, they're like, oh, they can make that terrible smell. She never had it. She never ate trash. She ate the cat's food. The cats were fucking terrified of her.
Yeah, I would be.
I would get up in the morning and she would be under my dresser pushing the bottom drawer
Oh my
out
god.
because she was so
Aw.
big, and I would get my clothes out and whatnot. She was one of my favorite pets. And then my parents say that they found a farmer who would take her, but I believe it was a Cajun. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Oh, they fattened her up. Oh.
Yeah.
That's
My parents, special people.
Special.
so.
Special's a
let's
good
see.
word.
We've talked about a bunch of stuff. It's definitely
Yeah.
past our bedtime at this point in time.
Past our bedtime.
Yeah, we normally
We
call
only
it about.
just like passed over the 8 o'clock threshold. Where it's not bedtime yet. What's wrong with you?
I'm so sleepy.
Old
I'm
man.
such
I'm an old man.
man.
This chair is rather uncomfortable.
I gotta.
I do have another question.
Okay.
Of course.
How much money do we have?
I have no idea.
We got plenty of money.
Cool.
I mean, we've got like.
Well, I mean, we have plenty of. The only
Dollar
reason
signs.
the only reason I ask, is I hope that gets solved because I need to buy armor. I need to buy armor
Well,
really badly.
as far as like needing armor like that, even once we figure out like starting monies,
Yeah.
I do think that what we're going to be going into will offer plenty of capital for you to be able to buy your armor. So I wouldn't worry too much about that.
And once the lapis baleen is dealt with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, hit points. What goes into hit points?
Oh gosh,
Did you
it should
do-
automatically
did you do that?
calculate that unless you deleted that equation.
I might have. I don't know. I might have.
So let's see. It's 8 plus.
If you click on it, it should tell you
yeah,
the
plus
equation.
B5,
Which is your
which
toughness.
is your toughness, plus G9.
Which should be your courage.
No, G9.
G9 doesn't exist.
Oh no, it's race. It's if you have a racial modifier.
Okay, with the race.
Nobody does.
and then H9, which is your traits.
So it should be your toughness plus 8.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'm good then.
Ooh.
So
Your mana should be 4 plus your magic rating, plus your presence, plus your intelligence.
Yeah, that's right. My mana points are 15.
Bam!
so
I am
looking at
loving
this.
Thomas
What?
the way
Hey,
he is.
do you guys know? Like, do you still have your sheets with your current hit points at the level you're at right now? What?
Yes.
What is
do.
that?
I've got 28 hit points
Jesus.
Okay.
versus 11 hit points.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I think Thomas's is like the same number and or a little higher. 18. 18. I'm surprised it's doubled.
Okay, so 18 hit points and what, 22?
8 hit points.
28, okay.
Okay, I might have to revisit hit points and come up with something a bit better. And
I mean, I'm cool with this. I've been in a game where we've done health points differently, and in mid game we had to change them, and I went from like 52 health points all the way down to 10. And
the reason why I would have to say we have to revisit it, it's because the damage that this system does is the exact same of what we just came from, and so there's a great possibility of instant death because there is no magical healing.
that's fair.
Yeah.
So I need to revisit it.
Yeah, so
That's fair.
that's one of the things we'll be able to do. Wasn't there something some
Yeah,
leveling up
because the
involved?
character's leveled up,
Yeah.
and that's where they gain these extra hit points at. This isn't taking place because this is based off a static number and their attribute.
So, over the next couple weeks, Max, I was about to say we. I'm not going to be doing this because it's like numbers and weird. I'll like add in my input after the fact, but he's the one that's like doing everything as far as like writing out the stat information. So, over the next 2 weeks, we're going to work on some of the notes that we've gotten here.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate your guys'
Thank you.
input.
Yeah, thank you guys. You guys are amazing.
And when we come back next game session in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah. Yep, 2 weeks. Sorry. Anyway. So when we come back in 2 weeks, we should be able to kick off where we left off, getting ready to head back out into the open void again, and
Right.
heading to Spindlehaven, the wretched hive of scum, and selling everything that you could possibly want there.
Ooh, I remember where we were at last time.
Uh-huh.
Thomas was doing this.
I was.
Except
I was.
invisibly.
No. The last time we left off, it was actually Thomas getting kind of talked to by the court mage
Oh,
about the
yeah.
opportunities of
And I got a
becoming
ring
court
from
mage.
him.
You did.
Ring-a-ding-ding,
I got
a
a-
magic
Oh,
ring.
man.
A ring of protection.
Yeah, they don't
So-
exist in this game anymore. I gotta fix that too.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
so
thanks!
there's so we're gonna put magic items in general.
Oh yeah, there's not a lot of work I need to do. Got not a long list.
Like I said, I am all about magic. I would love to help out with that, especially
Excellent.
spells.
Yeah.
I
Excellent.
think
there's-
also I think since you have the void, I think we should add something to do with the void. Either a different spell thing or a different element. But that would be fantastic because then
Okay.
you could harness stuff from that and you could even
Sure.
go into descriptions of like colors and galaxies. I'm excited. I'm excited about spells.
I'm
you can't
excited
tell.
Too. I can't tell. I'm excited too.
So we're really excited about the work in progress. So in between game sessions going forward is when we're going to be kind of trying to work out the kinks. And so when we actually have our game sessions, it'll just, be, if we run into a stumbling block, we'll make an executive decision in the moment and then go back and revisit the actual rule set, so that way we'll have it going forward. And so that's our plan for how we're going to be doing this alpha campaign.
campaign.
Whew.
I think it's gonna be fun.
It
And
is.
plus it's
This is
gonna
really
it's gonna
cool.
be it's gonna be fun.
This is so really everyone. Once I get once we get off the call, I'll be able to go into our Discord and change over some things. So we'll have a separate channel in our a separate whatever you call this. I don't know, whatever in our Discord.
Yeah, I got you.
That will be specifically for suggestions for how we're doing with our rule set system. So I'm super excited. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here and being a part of it and being enthusiastic about what we're doing. That really means a lot to me, and I know for a fact that it means like even more to Max because he put a lot of effort into this.
I was nervous when we got started.
So normally I'm the one that's nervous whenever we start a stream, and it was like the exact opposite today. So we will be back in 2 weeks. Before we head out, let's go ahead and do a quick round table for what you guys feel like plugging today. Let's start with Jon.
Oh, cool.
Jon, go.
Yeah. So, if you guys didn't know, yesterday, was that yesterday? Yesterday, I started a Let's Play live stream of Sid Meier's Civilization 6 because they came out with their new expansion, Gathering Storm, and has some really fun mechanics and things that we're exploring together. So I think I wanted to try and do it today, but I had adult chores. I'm sorry. So Wednesday evening, stay tuned. I think that's when I'm going to play next, and I'm going to try and do Wednesday and Friday until I at least get through this first game, and we can see how we do together as the Maori on an island map, potentially going for a culture victory.
And you can do that by going over to our channel, Original Box Set. I just kind of put it in there. The voice will catch up here momentarily.
You got it. You got this.
So, you can check us out over there. We're going to be doing a lot more activity on our channel this year. So it's going to be not just including role-playing games, but it's also going to be some streaming video games and having some fun with, what we're already doing so we can share the experience with you. Max is going to be doing some stuff on Friday nights here, coming up real soon, and
Probably hop on and just turn on the thing and start talking to you guys and be like, hey, look, this is my next setup. This is what I'm doing. So you guys can watch me as I do world creating and system construction and stuff like that. As well as, at some point, I'm going to pull Paige into playing a horror game.
Yes.
And if one of you guys out there want to join, I think that might be able to be happening.
we will put. So I'm actually making a note right now of the channels that we need to make. We need to make a alpha channel.
Yes.
And then we need to
Friday Night
make
Frights.
a Friday Night Frights channel.
Yes.
The name makes me want to watch Fright Night. Like
Nice.
the old version.
Nice.
The good one.
So I'm gonna go ahead and plug something completely different. I make soap, and I
She
make
does.
a lot of really freaking cool soap, and I want you guys to check it out because I think you'll really like it, especially if you're into like RPGs like Dungeons and Dragons and other fantasy RPGs that are super awesome. Where's my thing? Because I just started going to conventions. This is my I'm going all in, and if this doesn't work, then I don't know what I'm gonna do. So it has to work as far as my new employment.
You got this.
I know.
You got
I feel
this. You
good.
can
I
do
feel
it.
really freaking good
Yeah.
about it. I went to my
Yeah.
first convention this past weekend, and I was able to sell it was a war games convention. And it was like war games and miniature stuff, not even anything that I was actually going for. That's not my target audience. My target audience is RPG gamers, that play role-playing
Yeah.
games specifically. And so this is what I make. I make a create your character RPG set where you pick your race, your class, your alignment, and every single character is personalized with the character's name. And it gets sent out to you in a nice little neat package. And when I
so
go into
awesome.
conventions, you'll be able to do that as well and meet me in person. So it'll be really cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so, and I'm hoping later on this year, somewhere around July or August, I'm actually going to be doing I'm planning out a Kickstarter, so that way I'll be able to expand not just with RPGs like fantasy RPGs. I'll be able to expand into like specifically Shadowrun and Cyberpunk, like putting it to have that aspect too, because I think it would be really cool to come up with some smells for Pink Mohawk and Black Trench Coat and the different the different corporations that are there, like having themed soaps from them. I think it would be really fun.
Like a gun buddy.
Yes.
So that's like my next huge goal. My big goals are getting into conventions and showing my product and getting everything. So I'm really excited. So check it out. And if you like what you see, go ahead and send something my way. I appreciate it.
As someone who has had the pleasure of using her soap, it's amazing. The scent lasts. It actually feels really good. It doesn't stick or anything like that. So if you're into stuff like, I don't know I think there's a list on the back of what's in it, but I'm pretty sure that you would have something like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's good. Wash your body with it. Wash your butt with it.
Oh, and you can also follow me on Twitter. I'm gonna go ahead and put in. I'm gonna separate it out because they like do things weird with it. Let me see if I can do it. Yeah, there we go. So that's my Twitter handle right there. So RPG Soaps, you can check out all of the newest things that I'm doing. Also, whenever I sell soap characters, every character gets put into my RPG Soap family, and so you'll get to see like all of the cool combinations that people come up with, and it's really freaking fun.
That's awesome.
I'm definitely looking forward to the rest of this year. Anyway, so yeah, we'll end with Paige.
Hi, I'm Paige. Hello. If you're excited for this crazy alpha beta thing where most likely we'll come up with shit on the spot and roll with it, then you'll like Anarchy, because that's what we do all the time. We just roll with it and make things up on the spot. So basically Anarchy is a Shadowrun campaign that we play on Shadowcasters Network every other Monday. So this Monday we'll play at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And hopefully, knock on all the wood, hopefully our technical difficulties will end and we actually get to play episode 20,
That'll be great.
which shit will go down. And if you're interested in Shadowrun and interested in just chaos, I play a completely cybered chick that works for Ares, and I just fucking murdered my mic. And it's really fun. Oz runs it. There's Scrim that plays Deliverance, and Travis that plays Fritz. They're amazing. But if you want to if you want to support, that's the word. If you want to support the lovely Paige and this face, then you can buy my artwork, which is here.
Yay!
You can also contact me on Discord if you have a commission, or you can even find my art email on my Instagram account. I do commissions. I am open. I also will sell artwork that I have on my Instagram if it's not already taken. So, for example, if you're going through my Instagram and you're like, oh, she did Inktober stuff. I want this one of a plague doctor. I would be so sad to get rid of it because that's my Shadowrun character, but I would be willing to sell that to you. So...
Wow. Okay.
That's about it. I think.
Nice.
Do it.
Cool.
Thank you. And good night.
So yeah, with that, thank you so much everyone for
Yes.
being here and supporting what we're doing. I cannot express how much we appreciate you guys being here
We
and
do.
showing your support. And we hope to see you guys over on our Discord channel, or contacting us wherever you can find us. We're everywhere. And we definitely are very, very much looking forward to our next game session where we get to really dig into some role play again. So I'm so excited
Yes.
about it. With that, we hope that you all enjoy the rest of your night. I know I just put up my soap thing. Oh well, that's fine. It's cool. You're seeing it right now. Anyway,
This is what she has to offer.
you all have a really great night, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Yay!
Yay!
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night, guys.